Yo, what's up, tribe? Another Sunset Live. Let's see everybody kind of join in. It's supposed to rain all next week, so I'm just really loving and enjoying this weather this week and today. It's another beautiful day out here in LA. What's good? What's up, everybody? Hi, yo, Roman, my man, what's going on? CEO Sam, what's poppin'? Marla, Tony, Mooch, yo, what's good? What's good? My man Derek, yes. Mary J up in the house. Guys, you got to make sure you go check out the new website. Let's see, Amber Lee's out here. What's good, Amber Lee? Amber Lee Lago, that's what's up. I love it. Hey, what's good? I can't wait for us to connect. Welcome to the live. So, guys, another Sunset Live out here in LA. Where's everybody coming in from? Let me know. And also, let me know who's been joining on the daily live streams. Drop a 1 if you've been jumping on the live streams. I appreciate you guys so much. It's just about building community right now, creating conversation, creating connection. And it's really, although we're quarantined, it feels good that I can be consistent and connect with all of you every single day. Yes. That's what's up. Woodland Hills, you're out here. Amber Lee, we got to talk. Leaders Create Leaders, Season 6. Would love to vibe with you. So everybody, how was everybody's day? Real quick, I just want everyone to share what is like one thing that's positive, like we call it like a sweet and sour. Share something sweet, share something sour. We do this at altar call. Share something that's positive, something that's been, maybe a little bit tough for you today. Just share, some wins. I got Australia in the house. I love it. I see India in the house. I love it. Rohan, thank you for coming on here. Yes, I see some ones. Thank you. Shout out to all my day ones that have been coming on the live stream. I appreciate you guys just tapping in with me every day during sunset. We're going to be bringing on a buddy of mine. We'll see if he's going to jump on. His name's Daniel DiPiazza. He was a leader that was part of Leaders Create Leaders, the YouTube show that I have. He's one of the most powerful conscious leaders that I know. And we'll see if he jumps on. But what's going on? What's up? We got Utah. Yes. Job hunt is serious right now. I feel you. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to become an entrepreneur, right? Got Dan, Alyssa, what's going on, everybody? Cool, so share a win. What's everybody? We'll share like something that's like a win right now for you. Something that you want to share that's been really positive. Or something that's been struggling. Yes, Ashley, she's on here. What's up, babe? Thank you for jumping on and supporting. Keeping the real estate business alive. I love it. So how many of you have been actually staying true to your rituals? How many of you have been staying true to your habits and just staying positive right now in this tough time? I don't know about you, but shit's getting weird, I thought this would pass by now and we're still in quarantine. Today I took a drive. I opened up a business account today from one of my businesses, a really important business. I'm not going to tell you too much, but it was a big win for me that I was able to kind of get out. And I'm still being able to just do work. I feel so blessed that I have my health and I have my team still hustling every single day, that I get this opportunity to create leaders, to support leaders. And just got a lot of insights today. I'm going to be sharing a lot more of them. But I sent an email out to my email list, and a lot of you are wondering more about what I learned coming out of the last recession and how I built my $50 million exit Elite Daily. So I want to just share more with you guys of that story that I have never shared before, what that was like being in that boardroom and having to make that decision, and what it even like took even before that, like what it took for me to come up with that idea and work towards that idea coming out of a recession. So I'm gonna be sharing more about that to my email list, and I'm probably gonna make a video, send it out to you guys privately. So if you're not on the newsletter, make sure you join the newsletter at gerardadams.com. And thankful for you and your content, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Hopefully you have you watched Leaders Create Leaders? Let me know if you watched it, what your favorite season is. I got season 6 getting ready to drop this summer. We're looking at May is going to be the release of season 6. I see some female divine goddesses and leaders that are on this live stream right now that I'm grateful for. One being my babe Ashley, my queen, and Amber Lee Lago, who I'm looking forward to jamming with and inviting on to Leaders Create Leaders, guys. So I appreciate you guys. So let me see. I don't see Daniel. I don't see him. He was supposed to jump on with us. I don't see him. Let's see if my sister wants to jump on with us on here. So let's see if my sister wants to jump on. Let's see.
Oh. Hello.
Yo! What's up, sis?
What's going on? That was a surprise.
Yeah, I figured why don't we jam, because Daniel was supposed to jump on here and he hasn't jumped on. So I figured why not bring my sister on, who's definitely better than Daniel. So
oh shit, Daniel. He's gonna be coming for me now.
Damn, Daniel. Yeah. So Monica, actually, it's so cool that you were on and you jumped on. I love you so much, sis. I want to talk to you about something that came up for me today that I think is be powerful for everybody that's listening. There's been something that I feel that, I think everybody here who is building a business should always be asking for feedback, right? One of the greatest things that I've learned in my life, guys, is like learning to truly let go of ego and always asking people for feedback, right? Both in my personal life, I ask my mentors to give me real feedback, but even as you're building, your business, even if it's just your first idea and you're just getting started, or even if you have a monster multi-million-dollar company, you constantly got to ask your customers for feedback. So one of the things that have been coming up for me, Monica, that's really important is culture, and how important it is to bring in the yin and the yang into culture. And I think what a powerful way to talk about this when I brought you in when I was building the incubator Founders in Newark, and I brought you in to bring in that feminine energy, right? And you were the culture, director of culture for us in the hood. We were on, guys, everyone who's new to following my journey. After selling Elite Daily, I went to Newark, New Jersey in an area that was just with poverty and minorities. And I decided to be a part of building this incubator from scratch. We literally built the entire building, built an art gallery, built a little bodega, and I invited entrepreneurs from all over Newark and frankly around the world to come and get mentored by me for free. And we did that for years. And I invited people like Tom Bilyeu, and I invited people like my buddy Ryan Blair, my partner. I invited people like Eric Thomas. Just really, really powerful leaders. Lewis Howes came. And Monica was my director of culture. And I remember, Monica, how important it was, because you held meditations for the group and everything. But how important, and what have you learned in the area of really balancing masculine and the feminine energy? And how important is that for us as leaders? And how important is it for us to take that and bring that into our businesses?
Yeah, I think that's so crucial. And it's so telling too. It's so perfect because you always talk about heart-led leaders, and that coming from that heart-centered place, you are both. You are action-oriented, you're that leader, but you're also coming from a compassionate place and connecting to that why, and connecting to that mission. And I think, balancing the yin and the yang, what comes to me is like a triangle, right? There's the yin, there's the masculine, there's the feminine, and right at the peak of it, right at the peak is the mission, is the why. So balancing that action, that doing, that logic, which is masculine, which is so important. That's how you build a business, with the feminine, the creativity, the flow, the listening and the compassion. That the yin and the yang is so crucial and so important. It's that harmony. It's the balancing of the two, because you need both. We all have both. And to have that missing from your business is just, you're lacking something. You're going to lack that one side of it that can be that last key to have. We always say culture, if you want to sell something to your customers, you got to sell it to your team first. The team's got to believe in it. The team's got to have that culture, because people are attracted to a brand because it's already resonating from the inside out.
Yes. Yo, you're just literally speaking to me. And shout out, I see Jenna Sophia in here. I see some of the divine leaders that are part of the tribe. And I just want you all to know, and Monica, this goes to you too. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You've supported Leaders Create Leaders. You've supported our mission. You've supported the movement. And you know, it's been a journey for me to learn about this because, you know, frankly, I was the entrepreneur for the first 10, 12 years of my life that really just was driven by, I guess, the yang, you know, driven by the masculine power, you know, wanting to just go grind, hustle, make it happen, you know, almost like force growth, force success. And, you know, and it worked. Like it was able to kind of conquer in that way. But later in life, when I actually started to do the real work, the spiritual like work, the deep work, it allowed me to start tapping into the yin. It allowed me to start tapping into that feminine and realize how important is it, you know, for me as a leader, you know, like I think a lot of people don't talk about how that's needed for leadership. A lot of like the old way to leader, I feel like a lot of times like growing up, a leader was looked at as just being that like boss, you know, like just
Yeah.
directing, being very aggressive. And that's not what a leader is, right? Like a leader is supposed to have that compassion. It's supposed to have that ability to connect, you know, to really genuinely connect with everybody, to be present. And I think there is, again, there's just a balance, right? It's like mastering both sides, still having the structure and the systems, which I've been mastering at one part of my life, and then also mastering the compassion and the nurturing. And it's just beautiful because we don't get to do it alone, right? And I think that's what I love right now about the culture that we're building with Leaders Create Leaders, and is like we get the opportunity to have powerful leaders like yourself to kind of get involved and to help shape that. And it's something that I'm so grateful for. So thank you so much for pouring into me. I love you so much, and it means the world to me.
I love you so much.
That goes for you, Jenna Sophia, as well. That goes for, you know, Brandon Collinsworth, who I just had a call with today. That goes for Ashley, Chelsea. So many of you that are on the live, you guys have supported my growth and supported the movement. And I'm just excited. I'm excited that, you know, all of this is coming up, and now everyone who's listening is like, you know, I'm curious how this will resonate with you, right? How can you start to think about what that culture is for you and your movement, and then maybe, and even if it's not a movement, right? Like, how are you balancing that masculine and feminine energy, even just in your home with your relationships? Monica, maybe you could talk about that, right? Like even outside of a business context, right? How does someone right now, when they're quarantined, they're constantly around their spouse, or they're constantly like at home, maybe they feel like, you know, there is that need, right? There's that need to, especially more than ever before, to be understanding and to be compassionate, more than ever before. And I think it's really important for a lot of the men in the world.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I think it's so important with this quarantine. We've been given this time right now. We've been given this time, and more people that I jump on with, they're like, even if they've been being laid off or experiencing something, like the shock initially got to me, but now I'm just like, I kind of feel like it's great. Like I'm weird. It's weird to say that, but I feel like I've been calling this in because maybe I didn't like my job, or I didn't like my life I was living, and now I have this opportunity and this time to rediscover who am I, what is on my truth. And I think if we're touching on the yin and the yang, like getting into your creativity, letting yourself be free, whether that's through movement of dance or through art or through some kind of expression, that is like that divine that comes in, that just instant hit. And for that to come through, you have to be like a clear channel and allow it to just move. Like the feminine is not logistical. The feminine is not step by step by step. The feminine is like a dance. You know, if you're thinking of how you're going to look good as a dancer, you're not dancing that good. You have to just let the music let you be and like flow with it. And I think that is a great expression of the divine. And that's when we allow the creativity to come in. Creativity wants to come through flow. Creativity wants to come through that's something easeful and graceful, and not something that's restriction, right? The spirit is free and spontaneous. So anything you can do to allow yourself to be free, and it doesn't have to be something you sell, it doesn't have to be something that you post on Instagram, it's just for you. It's just for you to get in creative flow. And that allows you to be open to like divine inspiration, divine downloads, doing something you're just like, boom, oh, I got this insight. And then you bring in that masculine to see what could be the steps for me to bring this vision into manifest into my reality, to manifest, like, you know, I saw a vision for a scarf and now I'm going to go learn how to sew and do this and make the colors brighter, whatever it is. That's that masculine. But I think you need the feminine first, we all come from a woman. Your first home was a womb. You need that feminine first. That's that portal for that creativity to come through. And then you need that masculine to allow you to get the steps. But with the feminine, instead of going from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, with the feminine energy, you can go from step 1 to, oh, I see this. This is actually step 1, step 5. You know, that's why I love meditation, because you can almost quantum leap over some of the steps that you might have thought through your mind that's kind of caps you, and you drop into your heart. You become limitless, and you see, oh, it's not step 1, step 2, step 3, it's step 1, step 5, because I'm just going to reach out to this person through heart, through my energy, and that will get you immediately someone's attention, way more than being like, oh, I'm gonna comment every day, then I'm gonna email them, then I'm gonna, and like, doesn't work that way. You can't fake a vibe. So that's my rant.
You can't fake a vibe, yo. Damn, that's lit. So my sister's lit. So guys, I want to be curious.
Thank you.
I want to get some questions. How does this resonate with you guys? What are some questions that you guys have right now about unlocking your creativity? About starting having that quantum leap in your life? Or maybe share, like, what is something you struggled with? Are you struggling with tapping into your masculine? Are you struggling tapping into your feminine, right? What are questions that are weighing on your heart, guys? And, you know, like every day, Sunset is a safe space, even though it's live stream. This is a community, you know? So you're here for a reason. And I feel honored to hold this space for you. So Raul asks, shout out to Raul, what are some of the ways to balance out our masculine and feminine energy?
I think first tapping in and seeing, you know, what are you leaning more towards, and what can you use a little bit more of a dose in. And it's a lot easier than we make it out to be. Like, it's a lot easier than we make it out to be. And know that, like I've been saying, your feminine is creativity. For me, the way that works for me personally is through dancing. It's through putting on music and dancing and allow myself to flow. But maybe you can start painting, and it doesn't have to become something. It doesn't have to become a perfect sunflower. It can just be painting. But something that's more creative, loose, freeing. And then if it's something with the masculine, maybe it's a little bit more structured. Maybe it's following directions to create, you know, a logo set. You know, something like that, Legos, or something that's more like 1, 2, 3. But that's what I would say. And I think what's important too is to not get caught up in the feminine, the masculine, and start to look at things as a whole. How can you be whole and complete, right? Because these are fragments of the whole. And what we're really looking for is alignment with everything, with all parts of us. And that comes naturally when you become the whole, right? The yin and the yang is actually a full circle. Right, and we have different parts of us, but how can you feel whole and complete within yourself? That's a better question, and it'll allow you to be a little bit freer. Because again, we're just going logically. How can I get creative? How can I be feminine? That's still going into your mind. You got to drop back into your heart, which is expansive and whole, and will give you the yin and the yang and all beautiful parts of it.
I love that, Monica. Another question someone asked is, you know, John asks, how do you shut off distractions? So how do you right now get into that flow state every day and just not let yourself get distracted, right? Especially because we live in such a noisy world right now. Social media, the news, just comparing ourselves to what everybody else is doing, and just sometimes letting even our own minds kind of just distract us from what truly we want, what we really want, what our soul wants. So like, how do you shut off the distractions?
I think first honor the fact that you realize that that's coming up for you, right? You just made something that might have once been unconscious, maybe mindless scrolling, maybe mindless Netflix binge watching. So first honor the fact that you just brought something that might have been under the surface to your awareness. That step 1 is so important, and something that people should really honor. Like, wow, I'm noticing I'm bumping up against this. So great, like so crucial and such an important part of the process. Step 2 is to really understand why you're like, what is it that the distraction is giving you? What is the direct opposite that you want? So if you're consuming, you might actually want to tap into the opposite of creating something, right? If you're just mindlessly scrolling, how can I activate my mind? There's so much intelligence here, and try to lean towards the opposite of that. And so, yeah, distractions are real, but, you know, realizing that you can redirect that. And when you do, right? Because the first thing people always think it's like, don't let the start stop you. Like, just open the book and start reading. And then once you found a book that you love, you're going to want to continue to read, or start writing just to start, right? Don't let the start stop you. Start writing, and then you're going to see you're going to fall into it. And that right there helps you. And then once you're there, once you're in that flow of just like, wow, I have so much to write, I'm journaling so much, or this book is like so great, it's been 20 minutes. The same way you lose yourself in the distractions, start to lose yourself in the areas of growth that you want to see. And through that time and through that, you'll realize how much you like it. Then challenge yourself. How long can I sustain this? So that's like what's been on my heart, G, actually, is like, yes, I lead meditations every day. I get into my heart center, you know, very often in the morning, in the evening. Now the next step, how long can I sustain that for? Is it just for those 20 minutes and then those 20 minutes after, or is it for the next 20 hours? You know, how can you sustain that? So when you leave the distraction, you're entering into something you like. How long can you sustain that? How long can you read that book? How long can you journal for? How much can you create, right?
Yeah, I love that. You know, another thing too, Monica, because like, you know, I grew up being told I have ADD, right? And like part of me like believes it, you know, because I can get sucked in, right? I can look at my phone. I don't know how many of you feel this way, right? You pick up your phone for a hot second. Next thing you know, you're on there for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, scrolling and just getting lost, right? So, you know, for me, what I've started to do that really works, guys, is like starting to plan. I think you know, one of my mentors, Ryan Blair, used to always say to me, he said, leadership is planning. And I believe that, you know, so what can you do to start we're going into tomorrow's Friday, right? So going into this weekend, it's another great time, maybe even tonight, getting clear on like, where are you going? Like, where are you going? Like, what is it that you truly want? And even though it may be this big, audacious goal, like set it. And then all it is breaking it down into these little micro things that you need to do every day. And sometimes it can seem so far away. And guys, I know what that feels like, because if you would have asked me when I was an 18-year-old or even in my 20s, young 20s, if I was going to be one day building one of the largest media company in the United States of America for millennials, I'd be like, you're crazy. But it was like I had this big audacious goal that maybe one day I can do it. And it was like every day taking little steps. Like taking little steps of taking risk and learning every single day. And it's like, it's those little things that add up over a long period of time. And then before you know it, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 4 years, maybe it's, you know, 10 years. Before you know it, those little things that you do every single day compound and plan and stick to every single day. Like I'm telling you, it adds up. And in one moment, it just like pops off. That idea pops off. And it's just a matter of like you just time blocking and every day making sure that you commit and stay disciplined to executing on those little goals, right? Maybe you just say to yourself, what are the 3 things that I need to do every day? You know, for me, it's about creating, connecting, and coaching. Every single day I want to create, you know, and you can create through many different ways. For me, I like to do it through video. I like to do it through content. I've been a content creator for about 18 years of my life. You know, connecting, it's really important to me. Anyone who's friends with me knows, like, I want to reach out. Let's have a phone call. Let's collaborate. Let's connect. You know, I want to go out and I'm a networker. I like to go to events. I like to travel. I like to connect with people. If I'm at a restaurant or if I'm at a basketball game, like I like to connect to the person that's next to me. I'm not afraid to speak up, you know. And then last but not least, for me, it's like coaching. It's teaching at the core. Like my goal in life is to become a master teacher. So every single day, in order for me to become a master teacher, is like, I got to practice. I got to practice teaching. I got to work on my methodologies. I got to write. I got to read. I got to focus on, like, you know, getting results for my clients and working with them. So like, think about what are your 3 things? And then every day, just do those 3 things every single day and watch how your dreams manifest right in front of your eyes. And that is the masculine, right? That is, you know, those action steps is part of what the masculine really is. So I love it. I love it. What are some other quick questions?
Amazing.
I saw something else. Let's see here. I wish we could bring other people on. I wish there'd be a way to bring on like 3 people. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be so cool.
Okay, here we go. Sarah says, if you never had a masculine figure, what's a good way to tap into that energy and find more structure? I am free, creative, and in flow, but organizing seems so difficult or not even concrete. So, Mike, I just kind of dove in on that a little bit more, but
Mm.
it seems like you and Sarah have a little bit of commonality. I mean, again, what are you doing right now to stay structured as you're building out your practice with meditation and you?
Yeah, so I think what you just said is so spot on, right? And obviously, coming from the masculine and someone who's built something, it makes so much sense and it's such wise wisdom. Um, and I would say, like, it's it really does come to breaking things down, seeing the bigger picture, breaking it down. I think it does compound. I think you really nailed it with everything you just said.
Okay.
And if you don't have anyone in your life, it's like find someone. You can find someone in your life and begin to follow them more, read their books. Like there's so many people who've been here that are great, you know, who have given their wisdom, who have given their knowledge and took the time to do it. And there's so many leaders now in the space. And I think
Yeah.
it's our opportunity to find those people and take that responsibility of like, okay, I'll find someone, like, and open yourself to receive that. You know, I've called that in for myself. I've called in like, allow me to see more sacred masculine, allow me to find more sacred masculine, and it comes in. So you're already open to it, and just keep asking your mind, keep asking your heart, and you'll start to find those people, you start to find those pillars.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's true. Like two things I would say to you is one, I'm just going to reiterate what Monica just said, which is you don't have to do it alone. Like, yes, it's about becoming whole, but like we all get to ask for help. That's been the number one thing that's been the hardest thing for me, is to ask for help, to get help. But it's the number one thing that's allowed me to become the man and leader that I am today, is because I actually surround myself with other leaders. You know, what even inspired this conversation is me tapping into getting advice and talking to leaders. Today, I spoke to two powerful leaders or I don't know if they still are, but Dr. Brett Jones, who brought on the live this week, and my friend Daniel DiPiazza, my friend Brandon Collinsworth, Chelsea. There's just a lot of powerful leaders. Azra, who wrote an article that I talked to put in my swipe up, who wrote a powerful article on Medium about the psychedelic conversation she had about the coronavirus. I got to speak to her today and talk about the masculine and the feminine, and like, you know, call for help, like Monica said, because you don't have to do it alone. All right. And you're already doing it. That's why you're on this live stream right now. Yeah. And then two, it starts small. Like I said, just start with some small wins. What are 3 things that you want to do every day for the next week? 3 things. And just do them. Little things. Like maybe it's just reading 10 pages of a book. Maybe it's journaling every single day. Maybe it's DMing a new person every single day to collaborate with them. Or maybe it's getting on a call that's maybe uncomfortable for you every day and like talking to someone about, like asking them. Maybe it's even if it's like someone who's in your family, to ask them like, hey, you know, what am I great at? What do you think that, you know, I'm good at? What do you love about me? What do you think I need to work on? Just to start learning more about yourself, right? But there's so much you can do. I would say start small, pick 3 things and just start doing them every day for the next week, and then watch how that starts to build that discipline muscle. And you can obviously get more definitive once you have your business plan of like what it is you genuinely want to create that's big. Then you can really get granular as to what those action items need to be. But you don't need to do it alone. So I'm going to take one more here, and then my battery's starting to die, and I typically like to enjoy the last bit of the
so typical. My battery's gonna die too soon.
Oh, okay, cool. So what are your thoughts around a good way to stop making excuses and hold yourself accountable?
Woo! Cool. I'd love to jam on this a little bit.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's so important, the language that we use, and I know so many of the people on here already know that, right? The words that we use are so important. So even in your question, the invitation I have for you, right? So we tend to say things that we don't want, even unknowingly. So we'll say things like, how do I stop making excuses? How do I, you know, get off of the couch? How do I not be lazy? We sometimes do that, and it's very small, but just that question of how do I stop making excuses? Ask yourself, what's the opposite of that, right? So instead of making excuses, how can you make that list that Gerard just said? Like, pull yourself more towards the solution, because we've been trained to keep ourselves in this problem state, to keep ourselves to identify with the problem so much. So how can I stop making excuses? There's awareness there. Pull yourself, okay, so what's the positive result you want from that? How can I make my list? How can I start chunking down? How can I start being proactive in my goals? That's what you want to start asking yourself, and then hold yourself accountable. Find someone who can help you be accountable. And also, you can even blast yourself out there. Like, like there's social media now, so you could blast yourself. And I think that's a great way to hack social media, is like, all right guys, for the next 5 days, if I don't show up on stories, like, and put a stake in the ground, then I have to go on Friday butt naked on live. You know what I mean? Like, do something radical. I've had a coach do that before. Like, you have to put a stake in the ground, something ridiculous, something so embarrassing that if you don't do this thing, that you're gonna do this most ridiculous thing. And it'll help you get into alignment. And really, like, if I could leave you with anything, it's go towards your solution. Go towards your solution.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think it's just, you know, I think you gave great advice. I mean, I'm a little bit more hard knocks, you know, in the sense that, like, you need to sit with yourself and think to yourself, like, really, do you want to live a mediocre life or not? You get to choose. Like, no one's in charge. Like, I think that's what's so great about entrepreneurship. I texted this because I started an SMS list for people who wanted my daily affirmations. And, you know, what I said this morning to everybody, I sent them a text at 8 a.m. on a daily. And I said to them, you know, one of the greatest things about entrepreneurship is you have this ability to realize that you have the responsibility for your own destiny. Nobody else. So it's like, nobody else can do it for you, right? Like, the life that you want, when you get clear on, like, what is your why? Like, what at the end of the day, like, think about also, like, when you are going to die, right? We're all going to die one day. Like, when you are on your deathbed, do you want to live knowing that you have those regrets? What is that eulogy going to sound like? Are they going to sit there and be like, man, he had so much potential. You know, he was such a good-hearted person, and he had so many dreams, but he was so, you know, he really had those dreams. But, you know, how many people, it's actually funny, I was supposed to do this live stream with Daniel DiPiazza, and if you watch my episode with him, he talks about how he found the journals of his grandma. And he talks about how he read the journals of his grandmother and how she wrote and journaled about all these dreams that she never went after. And when she was literally on her, like, you know, on her last days, talking about the regret of never pursuing those, right? So it's like, you got to think about that. You got to think about, you know, coming out of this coronavirus pandemic, right? Like, how do you want to live your life? Because God has given you only one of them. So you got to play big and realize that your destiny is in your hands, nobody else's. You have your own life. You are unique. You are one of one. Every single one of us on this planet are one of one. We have a unique story, a unique journey. Nobody's walked a day in your shoes but you. So I can give you all the advice in the world about not having excuses, but ultimately it's your responsibility to take responsibility and take ownership of your life, your destiny. You only have one of them, you know? And I always say, you know, being lazy is disrespectful to the people that believe in you, but you got to believe in yourself. So
I love that.
On that note, Monica, I appreciate you. I love you so much.
Thank you. This was such a cool surprise.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this again. Let's do more of this. You know, today a lot of that came up for me of, like, wanting to balance and bring more balance of yin and yang in the culture of Leaders Create Leaders. I mean, rethinking the philosophy of Leaders Create Leaders and rethinking, you know, how I'm bringing people into this community of Leaders Create Leaders. And I invite every single one of you to be a part of that. I'm excited. And as I've been thinking and learning more today about that's needed more balance of the yin and the yang. I just want to say you've been that rock for me about, you know, learning more about the divine feminine. You and Mother Aya. So I just want to
wow, I'm up with her. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I love you so much. I'm so thankful. Absolutely. And guys, if you just want to be on my SMS list, I send daily meditations every single day. All you got to do is text this number. I'm so good at memorizing numbers. I can't, it's words to songs. I can't remember anything, but when it comes to numbers, I'm a numbers guy.
Got it.
So I'm going to put this number here, guys. And if you want to be on my list, I send affirmations every single day. Personally, this is something that was a passion project for me during the hard times. All you got to do is, I'll put it right here, text that phone number and just text LFG. You guys probably know I always say, let's fucking go, right? So text LFG to 201-897-6439. And you'll get my daily affirmations. I write them at night and send them out in the morning. And feel free, you can text me too. It's actually me. We can communicate. So I appreciate you. Mana Kiwi, since you told me that you were, we played a game this weekend with our parents. And We're talking about what kind of fruit would we be. So real quick, Monica, you're a kiwi, right?
I'm a
Monica,
kiwi. I'm a kiwi.
I'm a mangosteen. Look it up. Best fruits from Bali. Drop
I love it.
a fruit emoji. What would you be? What would you be? I love you, Monica, and
I love you
everybody.
too, brother.
Appreciate you. Live stream tomorrow. Every day sunset. Leaders create leaders. Text me.
Leaders
Peace.
create leaders. Good night,
Thanks, sis.
everybody. Good night.
All right, bye. Love you guys. Peace.